You're watching the Miami Heat Fan Show on Fan Media Network. I'm Daniel Gilman, joined by Josh Levy, and the Miami Heat folks are so back. We're so back, Josh. It's fantastic to see this winning streak. We're here in April. The Heat haven't lost in April, and Victor Oladipo and Nemanja Bjelica are fantastic additions to this ball club.
Absolutely. It's been a great stretch of Miami Heat basketball as of late since we added Nemanja Bjelica and Victor Oladipo. Doing the little things that, we didn't have before we added them. We have a primary ball handler in Victor Oladipo who's not necessarily putting the ball in the hoop, just a little bit of rust, getting acclimated to the offense, but doing a lot of things down the stretch, passing the ball well and creating for others. And Nemanja Bjelica is doing what he does best and playing that European style of basketball, doing the little things right and filling in the Kelly Olynyk role. So it's been great as of late to add those guys to our team who have been doing well since we've won 4 in a row.
Yeah, I was about to say 4 out of the last 10, but 4 in a row for the Miami Heat, tied in the 4th spot with Atlanta. There is a little bit of gap between the Milwaukee Bucks in the 3 spot and then that Atlanta, Miami, Charlotte, New York, Boston hodgepodge that is the 4 through 8. But I'd like to think that the Miami Heat are trending in the right direction. You take a look at their last few wins, Josh, and it has been domination for Miami. I think the Miami Heat have officially dominated the Cleveland Cavaliers since LeBron James left, right? It's been 20 straight home wins between Miami and Cleveland. That's a fantastic nugget that I've got to attribute to my brother Michael, who sent it to me, a big fan of our show. Not to mention, it's always nice to take down Steph Curry at home too, right?
Absolutely, especially after that loss earlier in the season where we squandered, I believe it was an 11 or 12 point lead with about 4 or 5 minutes to go. So that left a sour taste in our mouths. And it's a big win to beat a team like the Warriors, a team like Steph Curry. The Warriors' record is not indicative of how good they actually are because there have been a lot of games that Steph Curry was out. So a game with him healthy, it's always nice to get a win over that kind of team. So, it's a nice confidence booster. And as you mentioned, there's a nice little hodgepodge going on between 4 through 8 in the East. But as we know, seeding doesn't matter for the Miami Heat. As long as we play our basketball, we can beat anybody in the East, no matter whether or not we have home court or not.
Down to the last 20 games of the season. Can you believe that? This season has flown by. I think there's a 22 games left. And you talk about squandering leads, Josh. There's a fantastic opportunity for the Miami Heat to keep their homestand going. They've got the Grizzlies next, a team that kind of broke our heart in our debut episode, right? With Ja Morant dominating down the stretch, having that buzzer beater. So I want to open this up to Heat Nation over there on LinkedIn especially. We've got our LinkedIn business fan special, right? It's not the businessman special, it's the business fan special. And what I want you to do, folks at home, is message or comment on this video, message me or Josh on LinkedIn, or comment what you think the final score is going to be at this game. And if you get it right, perfectly correct, you may find yourself with a little extra swag, or maybe just a shout out from us. We'll have to see, no guarantees, but you've got the Heat and the Grizzlies on Tuesday night. Miami 5-point favorites in this one. And then Thursday, Josh, is there a more highly anticipated NBA game all month long than LeBron coming back to Miami? TNT, all the guys are gonna be there. It's gonna be a great one on Thursday night at 7:30.
Must-win games, these next 2 games. The Grizzlies, we need to beat a team like the Grizzlies. That's a game that you should win at home. And then unfortunately on Thursday night, LeBron is probably not going to be playing as he has that ankle injury, which he suffered a couple weeks back. However, that's not the end of the world for us. Although it might not be great for ratings, that is a game that we must win against the Lakers. You got to keep piling up these W's. You got to keep separating yourself from that hodgepodge, as we mentioned. Maybe, create, close in the separation, close the gap on the Bucks as the Heat kind of have a softer schedule to close out this season. As you mentioned, 20 games left. We can really close out strong, create some momentum going into the postseason, and then do what the Miami Heat do best in the postseason, and that's win basketball games.
So now it's time for the tidbit of the day, and it kind of factors into a little bit of thoughts that I've had towards the new change, right? No more Fox Sports Florida. Now it's Bally Sports and Bally Sports Sun. Although I don't love the scoreboard, Josh has grown used to it and he likes that scoreboard down there at the bottom. But Todd sends this in via LinkedIn. He sent me a message saying, how's this for your tidbit of the day? And it's a Bally Sports stat. So I got to give a little bit of love to the guys over at Bally. This one's wild because I'm not sure I had even heard of this before. Josh, have you heard of assist rate compared to usage rate? AST:USG.
I didn't until Victor Oladipo was a member of the Miami Heat, if you want to elaborate on how great he's doing relative to that stat.
Well, it's funny you mentioned Oladipo. I'll let you take the floor there in a minute, but this tidbit coming via LinkedIn, of course, Business Fan Special is always going to be available to you guys. We really want to try to connect on LinkedIn with you as much as possible because it's a great spot for Heat fans to connect. Jimmy Butler leads all wing players in this assist rate compared to usage rate, which I guess is the ratio between assists and usage. And Butler is a 1.2 Jim MVP. That's all I have to say. What were you going to say? Let's wrap up this show by giving me a little tidbit about our newest Oladipo star.
I don't remember exactly the precise stat, but all I know is that he's in top 5 in the league in guards in basically just creating shots for his teammates. And that's just what we desperately needed, going into the trade deadline, was a guy who can create. Tyler Hero is a great player. He's not a true point guard. Kendrick Nunn's a great player. He's not a true point guard. Those are both scoring players. Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, phenomenal players, but they're not true primary guards as much as Bam can take up the ball. Victor Oladipo is doing those things that we did not have before. He's creating plays down the stretch for people. He's taking some relief, taking a little weight off of Bam and Jimmy's shoulders, allowing them to play their game of basketball. Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson are playing amazing basketball since Victor Oladipo has come back. Since that pressure from the trade deadline kind of came and went, you're not looking over their shoulder wondering if they're going to get traded. So just the addition of Victor Oladipo has helped tremendously at 1 through 14 on the roster.
Not to mention just the whole vibe around him, right? We love him.
Great.
There's not one fan that I've talked to, and go ahead and make your noise. Let yourself be heard right now if you are anti-Victor Oladipo, because we are a pro-Victor Oladipo show, and that's going to wrap up this episode. Next time we talk, we'll be breaking down what is hopefully some more Heat wins on this homestand. He's Josh, I'm Daniel, and this is the Miami Heat Fan Show on Fan Media Network.
To host a fan show or appear as a fan on a fan show, simply create a profile on Fan Media's iOS app or website. Select your teams and make a short intro video on your phone. Show hosts, reporters, former players, and superfans can use our Get Verified feature and make an intro video as well, and our mobile newsroom staff will reach out.